37mm gun used by US Army reconnaissance units. And roughly in the middle of the arena, with a very large white star on the front, is another US Army, what they call tank destroyer, which is basically an anti-tank gun mounted on a Sherman chassis again. The white star, the object of, hello, it's open fire on us. The object of the white star was to indicate Allied forces to the Allied aircraft, in order to prevent them being shot up by their own forces, their own air forces. It did also, unfortunately, act as a nice target for the Germans. As you can see, that large white star with a circle around it would make a wonderful aiming point for a German anti-tank gunner. And as the war went on, the Allies tended to paint them out or rub them out or cover them up to disguise the large white star. The large white star was known as the invasion star and was in fact used on all Allied vehicles, not just those of the United States Army, although it tends to be associated with the US Army. In fact, all Allied forces use the white star as a recognition sign. British, French, Canadian, United States, Belgians. The only people who didn't, in fact, were of course the Russians. And they had a different indicating system. There is a tank moving up on our left, or my left as we look at it. It's a General Chaffee. It's a reconnaissance tank, 75mm gun, very fast, introduced in 1944, used by the Americans and the British, let's say as reconnaissance tank, and will be much the same equivalent in firepower as the Mark III or the Panzer III. They've got two light scout cars in support. Infantry, again much the same idea. The infantry support the tanks, and we can see in the middle of the arena the US infantry engaged in a close combat. And now we've had the 251 has been hit. Smoke gushing from the front. US forces now moving forward down the centre. The General Chaffee tank has opened fire. German forces now withdrawing. The American pressure is getting heavier. The US forces trying to do a flanking movement, pincer movement, coming down both sides of the arena, putting the German forces under considerable pressure. There's some German troops here surrendering to the advancing reconnaissance